Welcome to Scholarlands, where one can master the global language English easily and quickly. Today in this video, we will be learning about the most basic concept of English grammar. Well, like any other language, even in English language, we do use words. And we use these words in groups, such as Little Jack Horner sat in a corner, Jack and Jill went up the hill, these oranges are sweet and juicy, dogs bark, sit down, or trains carry passengers from one place to another. What exactly are all these? These are groups of words which make complete sense. Such group of words which make complete sense, convey a concrete meaning, are known as sentence. In short, what is a sentence? A group of words which make a complete sense is called a sentence. A sentence, remember, a sentence always begins with a capital letter. Example, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. The A of an has to be capital. Similarly, a sentence will end with a full stop, question mark, exclamation mark. Like, I like to eat chocolates, full stop. I is capital. Which color do you like? W is capital, and in the end, there is not a full stop but a question mark. Hooray, we won the match. Again the beginning letter H is capital. After hooray there is an exclamation mark, and after match I have put a full stop. These group of words, they must be placed in their proper order to make a complete sense. Example, if I want to explain, success is the key to success. No, this is incorrect. Even if I say success is the key to self-confidence, is it correct? No, it is incorrect. The correct sequence will be self-confidence is the key to success. Okay, let's do one more example. Never borrowed garments fit well. Meaning is conveyed, right? You understood. But grammatically, this is an incorrect sentence. The correct will be borrowed garments never fit well. One may wonder, why is this sentence correct? Borrowed garments never fit well. And why the first one, never borrowed garments fit well, is incorrect? Well, in these two sentences, we are talking of what? What are we discussing? Let's think of that. In both, we are talking about borrowed garments. So, the sentence has to begin with these words. So, broadly, when we make a sentence, number one, we name some person or thing, and number two, say something about that person or thing. In other words, we must have a subject to speak about, and we must say or predicate something about that subject. Hence, every sentence has two parts. Name of some person or thing, that is subject, and saying something about that person or thing is known as the predicate. Remember, the subject of a sentence usually comes first. Usually. But sometimes it is put after the predicate also. For example, here comes the bus. Here in this sentence, we are talking about the bus. So, the bus is the subject and here comes becomes a predicate. Okay, one more. Sweet are the uses of adversity. Here again, I am not talking about sweet, but I am talking about adversity. So, adversity is a subject which is actually at the end of the sentence, and sweet are the uses of becomes a predicate. Let's see two more examples. Sit down. Thank him. In both these sentences, if you pay attention, sentence is not there. but still the meaning is understood. That is, you sit down, you thank him. Such sentences are known as imperative sentences. What do you mean by imperative sentences? So for this, let's study the topic sentence in detail. Sentences are of four kinds. Let's study them with examples. Number 1, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Number 2, who sat on a wall? 3, sit on a wall. 4, oh no, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Okay, what is the difference in these sentences? Each one is saying nearly the same thing. In the first sentence, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. I'm making a statement or assertion. Such type of sentences are known as declarative sentences. Let's do the second sentence. Who sat on a wall? I'm asking a question. This type of sentence is known as interrogative sentence. What's the third sentence now? Let's see it. Sit on a wall. Here I'm expressing a command. So we call it as imperative sentence. And the last sentence, oh no, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. This is expressing a sudden strong feeling. So this type of sentences are known as exclamatory sentences. So now, number 1 I said is declarative sentence, number 2 is interrogative sentence, number 3 is imperative, and number 4 is exclamatory sentence. Let's study these sentences in detail. Number 1, declarative or assertive sentences, they make an statement or assertion. They will always declare something. Second important point is they will always end in a full stop. In this type of sentence, the subject is clearly stated, and these sentences can be affirmative or negative. Example, they follow the laws of the country. Here the subject is they. You have to ask the question, who follow? They follow. So this sentence is affirmative sentence. They do not follow the laws of the country. Again the subject is who? Who do not follow? They. I will call this sentence as negative because there is the word not. So whenever in a sentence you have words like no, not, never, they will be your negative sentences. Declarative, yes, but because they are talking about negation, we call them as negative sentences. Let's come to the second type of sentence now, interrogative sentence. A sentence in which we inquire or ask about something. They will always end in question mark. Here, the subject will always follow the question word. Questions or interrogative sentences can be of various types. Number 1, yes or no questions. Example, will you be able to come today? Precisely the answer is yes, I'll be able to come, or no, I will not be able to come. So this type of sentences where only two answers are possible, we call it as yes no questions. These questions will always begin with words like is, are, am, was, were, will, have, had, do, did, can, may, should, etc. I'll repeat that again. Okay. Yes or no questions generally begin with the words is, are, am, was, were, will, have, had, do, did, can, may, should, etc. Number 2, in interrogative, subtype is WH questions. They'll begin with words like who, which, what, when, where, how much, how many. Examples, who are you? Which place do you want to go? What are you going to write? When did you buy the car? Where will you go for vacation? How are you going to go for the vacation? How much did it cost you? How many chocolates do you want? So these are your WH questions. Subbit 3 in interrogative sentences can be alternative questions. Here, more than one question is joined by or. Would you like tea or coffee? Will you pay the bill online or in cash? So here you have options there, like you can have tea or coffee, or you can pay the bill online or offline. So whenever you're getting these alternative or options, you give options in the questions, they are known as alternative questions. Subbit 4 or the next category in interrogative sentences, rhetorical questions. This type is actually a question only for namesake. Just to inform, it carries a sense of a statement only. You just have to assert with it. Isn't it hot today? The immediate answer which comes to mind is, it is hot today. So that is a statement. It is a hot today. I just converted into a question, rhetorical question. Isn't it hot today? Similarly, I can say, didn't I give you my full support? What I really want to say is, I gave you my full support. But to make it more impactful, I am saying it, didn't I give you my full support? Another in interrogative is emphatic questions. So these emphatic questions, they're used to express strong feelings like anger, surprise, etc. Nowadays, actually, these questions, this type of questions are used more in dramatics, and we don't use it in the normal way of speaking because it's considered as impolite. Imagine someone telling you, who the hell is he talking to in between us? Who the hell is he? Sorry, I'll do the correction there. Who the hell is he talking in between us? Or, what on earth were you doing there? Definitely, we don't speak these type of sentences, but in dramatics, yes, these are allowed. Another version of interrogative sentences, question tags. This is commonly used. They are nothing but a short question which is tagged along at the end of a statement. It's just tagged there to seek confirmation to whatever the statement conveys. Example, you are writing to work for us, aren't you? She did not inform us, did she? So if you take into notice, the first sentence, you are writing to work for us, is affirmative. And the question tag goes negative, aren't you? The second question is, she did not inform us. Negative sentence, so the question tag will be, did she? So the question tag, whichever is tagged at the end of the sentence, will always be in the opposite meaning. If your sentence is affirmative, question tag is negative. And if your sentence is negative, question tag is affirmative. So that's all for interrogative sentences. Let's move on to the type 3 sentence, and that is imperative sentences. Imperative sentences always end in full stop, like the declarative. They express a command, a request, or advice. But in declarative sentence, we have the subject. In imperative sentences, we do not have the subject. Here, the subject is not expressed. It is usually unexpressed. It is just understood. Imperative sentences can be both affirmative, negative, and emphatic too. Like I can say, leave the room immediately. That's a command. Leave the room, please. Or you can say, please leave the room. So this becomes what? Your request. I can say, be true to your word. That's advice. Don't leave the room now. That's negative. Or discuss this topic with your friends. That's affirmative. You look exhausted. Do take a break. So it's an affirmative type of sentence. You look exhausted, but do take a break. So it's affirmative, imperative, which is actually emphatic. It is stressing on the fact that you need to take a break. Let's move on to the fourth type of sentence, that is exclamatory sentence. These sentences, they express a sudden emotion like surprise, delight, pain, grief, anger. Wishes can also be classified as exclamations, and these sentences will particularly end in an exclamatory mark. Variety of exclamatory sentences are there. Some but few I would like to explain, like what witty answer she gave. So it is what plus an adjective plus your subject and the rest of the words will follow. How earnestly she pleaded. So again it is how plus you add an adverb and then you start with your subject and you add the couple of words. Wish. Oh, that I were a bird. Means I wish I were a bird. You have some which express grief. Alas, she died so young. If only I had a strong financial support. So with the ones which begin with if. If you have noticed, all these 5 sentences are not ending in full stop but exclamatory mark. So sentence, today we learned what is a sentence. A group of words which make complete sense is called a sentence. Then we learned what is subject and predicate. Whatever is talked about in that sentence is called as the subject, and what we talk about that subject is known as the predicate. Then what are the 4 basic kinds of subject? Number 1, declarative. Number 2, interrogative. Number 3, imperative. And number 4, exclamatory. So that's all for today's video. This is the basic concept of English grammar. I hope you all have understood very nicely. Look forward to more such videos on the basics and the concepts of grammar. Stay tuned with us. Happy learning. Thank you.